Hey, thank you for having me at the Vegan Link. My name is Katya Gorbacheva, and I am a vegan, now a powerlifter, used to be bodybuilder. I'm originally from Russia. My coach right now is Alexei Bakharev, who is #1 IPF in Masters. He just got that in August of 2021. I went vegan about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years, when I got my blood tested at work. So I was lifting very heavy. My dad is really into lifting, and I was enjoying it, running, trying to lean out, trying to get as shredded as possible and as strong as possible, right? Everybody's dream when they're young and right out of college, they had free blood testing at work. And I was borderline risk for heart disease. My bad cholesterol was really high. My good cholesterol was really low. Triglycerides were really terrible. So I just started Googling for some solutions and found a vegan documentary. I think it was Cowspiracy and the Forks Over Knives. Watched those, was really inspired, was really upset that nobody has told me that before. So I was really ready to just cut out all of the bad things. So I guess my world before revolved around, this is a good thing to eat, this is a bad thing to eat, what they teach girls at a young age. I guess, don't eat bread, eat this. So before I tried to eat paleo and cut out grains, breads, carbs, even milk. So I already wasn't eating dairy. So I was like, all right, now I guess I need to add back the grains because what else am I gonna eat? So I added tofu that I did not know how to cook. It was really awful. I added the beans. My stomach was not ready for that much fiber. That was a nightmare for like about a month. But I was relentless and didn't give up. I learned how to cook those things, and slowly over time got more comfortable with more plant-based things, and still, I guess, ate some things that I used to that were not vegan before. But over time, I ate less and less animal products and started cutting out animal products from things around me, such as, I wasn't buying leather for a long time, but I was even trying to not buy like consigned leather. The products for skin and for the house are cruelty-free. Instead of wool, opt for other things in terms of sweaters and clothing. So started paying attention to things like that. And probably only in 2019, when I competed in bodybuilding for the first time and was invited to speak at the Durham Veg Fest, Raleigh Veg Fest, Wake Forest Veg Fest, and Charlotte Veg Fest, I met a bunch of activists who were like, wait, you're not doing this for the animals? You selfish prick. I mean, they didn't say that, but that's how I felt. I felt like I was really late on the ethical game because that's the #1 reason that people should be vegan or plant-based, right? For that and for the environment. So outside of my own health, the environment, I guess, was #2 for me always because I'm an engineer by education. Having taken a bunch of environmental sciences courses at Duke, I was really adamant on, saving energy, reducing waste, recycling, but the best thing you can do for the environment is just to reduce animal consumption. So that clicked. And then when this third element of the ethical veganism clicked, I feel like now I got the full picture, and that's probably something that keeps me mostly plant-based until this day. So physical, I was kind of stuck in terms of my lifting. I could barely squat 2 plates. I think I could deadlift like 2 plates and change maybe, but I didn't even dare try for 1 rep max when my running was okay. I wasn't really super fast, or couldn't run for super long distances either. So I guess my endurance was not in top shape, and my strength was okay. But I knew I could do more, so I kind of stalled. When I went vegan, I feel like I've built the most of my muscle. So I was, how old, 24? Yeah, and by then I was lifting somewhat, but I didn't really stick to any program. I was constantly trying to diet and just look skinnier and look smaller. So I've had eating disorders from college. I didn't really have a good relationship with my body. And when the focus was moved from like what is happening to me, but to having the products that are also good for the environment and for the animals. I feel like that was really healthy for the mental. And in terms of strength, well, I PR'd in all the lifts, and I've competed in bodybuilding and powerlifting since I went vegan, so there's that. I actually have a squat record for my weight category at our gym right now, which I don't know, maybe people will beat soon, but I'm competing soon, so hopefully I can beat that again. Let's see, what is it? 320 pounds, and I was weighing 150 at the time of competing, 150 pounds. So 68 kilograms, and that was USAPL, so United States Powerlifting Association. My blood was terrible, and then I went to the doctor because I actually went to my OBGYN and asked, like, hey, is there anything potentially bad in terms of vitamins, nutrients? What should I get? Is there anything bad that can happen to me if I go fully plant-based? And she obviously just told me to take B12, which I already was, and other vitamins, a general multivitamin, and omega-3, 6, 9. And nothing bad happened. But the interesting part is I asked how soon can I retest to see how much my new diet improved my blood. And after 8 weeks, the bad cholesterol dropped 3 times and my good cholesterol went up. And it kind of stayed in the green zone ever since. So I feel like if anybody is ever doubting what plant-based diet could do to them, why don't you run an 8-week experiment and prove it to yourself? If it doesn't work, then I guess it doesn't work. And I highly doubt it doesn't, but then if it does work, how can you deny the benefits? Right now, probably the environment, because the earth is burning. We're doing pretty badly. We're being little tyrannical creatures to this planet. And yeah, it kind of affects our own health, everybody else's health, everybody else's environment. And I mean, even this pandemic, what did it result from? Livestock market, right? Animal market. So I don't think I need to comment this more. That everybody decides for themselves why it's important for them to be plant-based. I guess most people are not, right? But then some people are just vegetarians, so maybe they have their own reasons to, you know, not eat flesh. Other people think differently. I can't answer for other people.
No, I know, but like,
I would like for people to take responsibility for their actions. A lot of people are being grossed out when they show shots from factory farming, from animals being killed and tortured, and they would never kill and torture and eat their dog and bake it for Thanksgiving. So why did they bake a bird? I think it makes no sense. This hypocrisy that we partake in is not cool. But then at the same time, I would still be compassionate to those who aren't like woke in terms of plant-based stuff yet, because I grew up not even thinking about this until I tested my blood. So who am I to tell other people that they're doing it wrong? I don't think I can judge other people because they may be, being plant-based and vegan is a privilege, right? Like I live in a society where I can go to a grocery store, I have enough money to buy whatever the hell I want. There's tofu on the shelves. You know, I went to Russia, I had to look for vegan products, and yeah, I didn't eat 100% plant-based there. I'll be honest. Why? Because those products are not available in most places where I was. And some of my friends, they were like, oh, you're, you know, a bodybuilder, you're a powerlifter. You know, here's a protein shake, like we really tried, we got this for you. And then I read the ingredients and of course it's whey. And I'm like, great. So I don't know. I really don't think anybody's in the position to judge others for not eating plant-based because they may have other problems. They really may. And some people may just not have access to good information and those foods and cruelty-free products. Yes, that's my favorite question. Okay. So I usually kind of shut up and not tell people and let them, you know, if they're clients, I let them come and train with me, and I'll write them a nutrition plan that is mostly plant-based, which will say, like, you know, if you want, substitute tofu for meat. not the other way around. So it's tricky. So, right? Like most coaches, they were like, if you are vegan or vegetarian, substitute like this fish for this seitan or for meat replacement. I do the other way around. So they're like, okay. So maybe they try it. Then they're more likely to try it. And then all of the recipes on my blog are vegan, obviously. All of the recipes that I post are vegan. But I don't really do activism in a sense that, like, I don't go protest anywhere. I don't go on a strike. I don't go yell at people. I did probably year one because I was really upset that nobody told me that I was doing something wrong for years and years. And I was like, man, if I tell other people, then they for sure, like, their eyes are just going to open. They're going to say, thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, we're doing something terrible to ourselves and to everybody else. Wonderful. Let's fix this. But that didn't happen. People were just kind of like, can you stop? Like, this is annoying. Like, live your life and I'm going to live my life. So I stopped. And right now, all I do is, I guess, I try to lead by example and not really preach, but just practice and let others observe. And then if they wonder, like, how the hell am I getting stronger every year? And how do I look better as I age? Most people say that I look younger. So I hope that's true. If that's true, then I guess most people are interested in the things that I do. Like, most of my clients ask me what I eat, even if they're not vegan. And then the more they work with me, the more they're inclined to try the things that I do that are effective for me. That's how they kind of get onto the bandwagon. I guess I don't only train vegans. That's another thing. But when people have, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, obesity, or if they're pre-diabetic, I give them some suggestions and ask for them to go and check with the doctor and test their blood. And then we can make some changes in their menu, and if they see improvement, then it's a no-brainer for them, right? We're all pretty selfish creatures, so if they see improvement, they want to stick to it. So I've had, I think, not most, but maybe 70% of my clients who are not vegan at least try being plant-based for X amount of time, and some of them stayed vegan for life. Oh yeah, I mean, the year that I went vegan, my entire family was like, yeah, your period is gonna stop, your teeth and hair is gonna fall out, like, you're gonna die, get ready, girl. And I mean, saying I'm still here is like the worst argument ever, so I'm not saying that. But I guess if you look at the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, that say that humans at any age from birth, including newly born babies with an adequate balanced diet, can eat plant-based and be healthy, I would just say, listen to the scientists, don't listen to me. I try to tell that to my family. I tried to tell that to my friends. I lost some friends, which I'm not sure even if they were friends, if they really were trying to push me the other way, Yeah, I guess that now is like a great quantifier of, are you really my friend? Are you really kind? Do you really care about what I want to do? Because if people care, they're going to respect what you want to do, right? They're going to respect my opinion if I want to, dye my hair blue, as long as my actions don't harm anybody. As long as I want to do this for me, I want to eat plant-based for me. Now, if I want to do some questionable behavior, hopefully they'll tell me, right? That's how friendship works. But being vegan is not questionable behavior. You shouldn't worry for somebody, or you should go freaking educate yourself. So if people like that are in your way, then maybe consider educating them. And if they're resistant, yeah, are you really friends? The food challenge is like, yeah, for me personally, so I've had eating disorders in the past, and for me, sometimes when I just crave something, it's much easier to have like that thing. Say if I'm craving an omelet, I know that an egg is stolen from the chicken and it's a hens period and there's a bunch of cholesterol in there. But sometimes it's easier, especially like before there were replacements such as just egg, and before I learned that you can make chickpea omelets and things like that, when I wasn't as educated on how to eat more plant-based, I would just eat an omelet and then I could eat vegan for longer rather than crave and just eat like boxes of Oreos and be thinking about that stupid omelet for days. So I guess if you've had a history of eating disorders, I would watch out for restricting yourself. And if you have a history of labeling foods as good and bad, labeling all animal products as bad, cannot eat, may trick your brain into craving them just because they're like forbidden. So that was what happened to me, and it still happens sometimes, but really, really rarely, probably like once a year, I'll crave something stupid and I'll eat it, and then I'll call it a day and keep eating plant-based for the rest of the year. I don't think it's the worst situation in the world. I don't see the point. I usually get my blood tested yearly now. Last time I tested blood was right pre-pandemic, and the funny thing is they found that I was lacking vitamin D, the vitamin that everybody was obsessed about when we went on lockdown. So I started taking more vitamin D, and all my vitamins were in check. So I'll just do the blood work, see what's up, and then based on that, complete my vitamin requirements. And I advise everybody does the same because it's much cheaper and easier to do preventative health checks rather than go and mitigate when shit hits the fan. Breakfast is usually either oatmeal or tofu pudding, silken tofu pudding. I have a recipe on my website for that. Go check it out. It's delicious and it tastes like the real thing. It kind of tastes like yogurt if you put some fruit and lemon into it. It's so good. I usually throw some seeds and nuts on top of that. I try to have like a large variety and switch it up. Lunch is usually either tofu or seitan or some kind of meat replacement. It's high in protein, some kind of a grain, usually not rice. I try to do this pre-workout or post-workout to increase growth hormone and grow my muscles more. I've been eating more veggies with that, more salads. Or fruit. I usually have like at least one fruit after every meal because I have a sweet tooth and I always want to just eat a bar chocolate, and it's much easier to eat a bunch of fruit instead. And dinner is the same as lunch. I make curries a lot. I don't really like salads, so I would rather make soups because I'm Russian, so I eat all of my foods hot. I drink hot tea, I eat hot soups and curries and things like that. Oh, well, that depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at in the world. It depends on where you're at in your health and, I guess, relationship with the environment journey. If you're starting for health, if you want to just like go vegan and get jacked, that's one story. If you're doing this for the animals and you're trying to like lose a bunch of weight, that's a different story. So I would say find something that's relevant to you and find somebody who's either doing the same or at least understanding what you're going through and they can support you, because I have this like pyramid of importance that I give to my clients who come to me to train, and at the bottom there's always social support. It's always there. It's so hard to go like right against everybody else that you know, everybody that you respect, everybody you trust. You know, it was so hard when I was doing this, and the person that I was seeing at the time, they were very not vegan. They were very against it. My parents were against it. Most of my friends just thought it was a phase. So find somebody who digs it. You know, now it's really easy to find some foods that are easy to cook. They have instructions. There's a lot of vegan coaches now. There's a lot of online communities like on Facebook or Instagram. You can hashtag, search, whatever. I don't think Instagram was a thing really when I was starting. So it was a lot of Googling and a lot of spreadsheets of trying to find the best foods, the best, I don't know, resources, and I think I still have this information stored, but that's not as relevant anymore because everybody talks about it. Everybody has a vegan protein in their line, even if it's not a vegan company. Yeah, I would say focus on one thing at a time if you're starting, and when you fail, don't give yourself a hard time and then just throw the towel and go back to doing what you're doing. You know, even people like me who like are mostly vegan, I still fail sometimes, and that's okay because you can always get back to it and nobody's going to put you to prison. The vegan police is not going to come and they're not going to give you tickets. So it's just accountability for you and thinking about your future health, the future of the planet, the future of your kids, or people you love. Well, first I will recommend my website, of course, that is totalbodylove.com. There are recipes there. There is a way to ask me questions. You can shoot me Instagram messages with any questions. Let me know that you came from Vegan Link. That would be very useful. So my Instagram is at Gorbacheva E. So it's just my last name and the letter E. And I like PCRM. I like Cheap Lazy Vegan. She's amazing. She's a YouTuber and she's really funny. She makes a lot of Korean food. The only thing she does not make is seitan, but everything else, probably tofu-wise, she's good. I probably recommend searching by hashtag. Vegan Proteins is a great resource. I love them. They are a couple and they competed in bodybuilding, both of them. They have really good recipes on their YouTube channel. I think they have a recipe book. Isa Chandra Moskovitz has numerous cookbooks. She's amazing. She's an activist, a vegan activist from New York, and she has like plant-based eating for fat loss, just kick-ass plant-based recipes. I think it's called Post-Punk Kitchen. So it's a hilarious book to read on how they were starting to do this like 20 years ago in New York, and many, many others. She has like the Essentials book. Don't swim with the current. Don't swim against the current. Swim wherever you need to swim. That's the quote by Michael Zvanetsky, who is a Russian writer and comedian. Unfortunately, he passed last year, but he's one of my favorite wise people and writers. Oh, take it at your own pace. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. A bunch of my Russian friends who are vegan, there's like not that much support there, and people sometimes take it too seriously when they really go into it. They like to say that the main problem with veganism is other vegans. I don't think that's the main problem, but sometimes that can be true. So if people are giving you too much crap for not doing it perfectly, you know, whatever, just remember that doing something is better than doing nothing, and you're fine. You're gonna get there. You don't have to go cold turkey. Go at your own pace. Learn, educate yourself, and connect with other people who are trying to do the same. And if it doesn't work, just ask for help. It's okay. I don't think so, and I hope not. I think the main reason that people quit is burnout, like emotional burnout and social pressure. I think that's probably the only reason. I can't think of any medical reasons that somebody would quit, but I'm not a doctor, so maybe I don't know everything. I think you can always make it work if you educate yourself and spend some time doing this, but if you don't have enough resources and if everybody around gangs up on you, maybe you just give up to have that support and don't have people kind of constantly blasting you by doing everything wrong. I mean, we do this to people, right? We think we're always right and then they're wrong and we want for them to join our camp. I do think that we need to do it gently and we can't, like for example, serving somebody something that's vegan and then be like, ooh, but did you know this was not real meat burger? I don't think this is okay. I think we need to be more respectful in kind of suggesting the changes, and people can make their own decisions. Otherwise they will rebel, and who can blame them? I've had one client who could not really lose that much weight, and he didn't want to count calories and like restrict his eating. So he built some muscle and then he kind of like looked a little bulky, and then he went vegan. Struggled with some extra fiber for a little bit because he just added way too many beans at first and way too many other plants. But eventually he's lost weight pretty quickly and kept it off. So that's a success story. I guess myself is a success story, right? Because I went from being like a mediocre lifter to a competitor. One of my friends, he had the same thing as me. He had the blood work that came out really bad in terms of cholesterol. He's vegetarian now, he's not vegan, but one of the main changes that he's made is also get rid of a ton of added oil, be that animal or non-animal. Doing that and eating vegetarian has helped him. He was my client for a while as well. He leaned out and finally had a six-pack, and he's never had a six-pack in his life. So he did that on a plant-based diet. I feel like there's many success stories. You can just type in vegan strong or something and they will come up. The Instagram with success stories of my clients is Total Body Lab. That's the handle. And that one has nothing but just before and afters of all of the people that we have trained. And right now we have 4 coaches on the team, so it's not just me, but I observe everybody who is there, who trains with us. And we have, for the most part, lifestyle people, so not powerlifters or bodybuilders. We have some athletes, and we would like to take more, but most people just want to lose a little fat, gain a little muscle, be a little stronger, be a little healthier, and call it a day.